Hey everybody, Geekling Girl here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about some of my artist pet peeves. I feel like every artist who's ever done YouTube has made a video on this at some point, and I will be no exception, because I wanted to talk about a few things, because I actually have quite a few that I haven't ever heard anybody talk about before, so yeah. Alright. So first off, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I'm drawing in the background here. This is a drawing that I did for a Draw This in Your Style challenge on Instagram. The original is by, I hope I'm saying this right, Ibu-chen? I don't know, but that's their Instagram there. So yeah, their art is amazing and you should totally go follow them, and maybe while you're at it, you could also check out my Instagram, which is Geekling Girl, and make sure to give them a follow, and yeah. So let's get right into it. Okay, so my first pet peeve is when the sketch almost always looks better than the final thing. I really hate it when this happens, and it happens a lot. Like, I'll do a sketch and I really like the way that it looks, but then once I add line art, it just isn't quite the same anymore, and like there's just little things like maybe about the face that are different, and it's just, it's really annoying. And I think a lot of it too is sketches tend to be a lot more fluid and loose, and once you do line art, you kind of lose a bit of that, and yeah. And my second pet peeve is hands and feet. Enough said. So my third one is when people say that my art is perfect. This is kind of an uncommon one. I haven't heard people talk about this really, but a lot of the time I hear people say like, oh, your art is perfect, you know, you're so good at it, and like, I understand, like, yeah, I'm probably more talented at art than other people, but I don't like to say that I'm perfect because I know there are other people out there who are better than me, and I feel like, you know, labeling myself as perfect just kind of discredits them, and, you know, I still have a lot to learn, and if I was perfect, you know, I wouldn't have anywhere to go, so it would kind of just take everything out of it. So yeah, that is one thing. And my fourth pet peeve is flipping the canvas and seeing how bad it actually looks. So if you don't know, in digital art, you can flip the canvas so it like mirrors it, and so you do that so that you can see the flaws in your drawing, because when you've been looking at it one way for a long time, your eyes get kind of used to it, and you kind of become a little bit blind to any mistakes, like if the balance is off, or if the face isn't symmetrical, or if one shoulder's higher than the other. You just, when it's facing one way for so long, it's kind of difficult to see those mistakes. So when you flip it, you're able to see them. And it's kind of annoying when you are really like happy with the picture and then you flip it and then you realize, you know, half the face is lower than the other side, and it's just, yeah, it's really annoying. So my fifth pet peeve is the back pain. Anyone who has sat there and drawn for hours and hours on end knows what I'm talking about. Whenever I draw, I tend to have pretty bad posture because I just like lean into the screen a lot. Like, it's not necessary. I can like zoom in and see those details, but for some reason I just like hunch over my drawing tablet and just yeah, it's kind of painful, and I know I shouldn't do that, but but I do. So yeah. And my sixth pet peeve is when random sketches look better than pictures you make on purpose. This happens more often than I care to acknowledge. Yeah, a lot of the time when I sit down to draw something, I'll draw it and it'll turn out good, but then when I'm just doodling, I tend to make something like really, really good, and I'm just like, why can't I do that all the time when I'm actually trying, you know? Like, these two pictures here are, like, two of my favorite pictures I've ever done, and they were, like, just random sketches I had done, and then I just decided to finish them. And my 7th pet peeve, this one is mainly for digital art. It's when you have done all your line art and it looks really good, or you've like completely done all your base colors and then you realize you've done all that on the wrong layer, like you did all the line art on the sketch layer. That is the saddest feeling ever, because there's no way to fix it other than to just erase it and start over. Yeah, it's no fun. And my 8th pet peeve is when people watch me sketch. Now, I've heard a lot of people, when they do these kinds of videos, they'll talk about just them watching them do art in general, and that, you know, having people watch makes them uncomfortable. But I guess I'm a little bit different. I am only uncomfortable if I'm sketching, not like line art or coloring, because once I'm doing line art and coloring, my drawing is already, you know, I've already worked out all of its issues, like, you know, the anatomy and stuff, but just starting out, you know, in the sketch and where things look awkward and weird, I don't like it when people are standing behind me watching me do that stuff. It's kind of uncomfortable to me, because it's not quite like, you know, it doesn't quite look right yet, and then I get like nervous. They're gonna be like, oh, why is one eye bigger than the other? And I'll be like, I haven't fixed it yet. You know, it's kind of like that. And my 9th pet peeve is art block. Art block is the worst. It's like when you want to draw something, but you just can't make yourself sit down and draw it, or you have no motivation to draw anything. It's just, it's no fun. Especially when you have so many ideas, but you just can't get any of them down, and everything you try just doesn't really look good, and you just don't have the motivation, and yeah. And my 10th pet peeve is when your hand gets all shaky and ruins your life. I don't know if this happens to other people really, but for me, sometimes I have days where, like, I just can't get very, like, smooth lines out. Like, it's like I just forget how to draw. Like, especially doing, like, line art and stuff on days like that. Like, there are some drawings where the line art just really doesn't look that good. Just because I just physically could not make clean line art that day. It's, yeah, pretty annoying. And my 11th pet peeve is when I accidentally make the same face as the character I'm drawing. I've heard some people talk about this one before. It's like when I'm drawing a certain expression on a character, like if they look happy, I tend to just subconsciously make the face that they're making when I'm drawing it. It's kind of weird, but like, I don't know. Or if they're like kind of like angry or something, I kind of like get angry. I don't know why. And my 12th, am I on 12 or 10 or 11? We'll say 11. Okay. 11 maybe. My 11th pet peeve is when your computer crashes and you lose everything. This is something that has happened to me a couple times. Because, like, sometimes the power will go out, like, just for, like, a split second in the room I'm in, and then I lose everything because it shuts off all the apps I have open on my computer, and then I lose everything. And, like, I've lost, like, hours of work this way. Like, there was a drawing I was doing when I first started out, and I had been working on it for, like, 6 hours, and then I lost it. And I'm sure like a lot of you are sitting there like, don't you ever save your stuff? If you saved it, that wouldn't happen to you. And yes, that is true. If I had saved, I wouldn't have lost as much work. But it is a little tricky sometimes because, you know, when you're drawing, you kind of like get into the zone and then you just like forget to save. And with Paint Tool Sai, there isn't an automatic save option. So if that happens, and you've forgotten to save for like the last 2 hours, you know, there's kind of nothing you can do. I've been trying to get better at that and try to remember it a bit more. Just kind of think like, okay, when was the last time I saved? Oh, never? Probably should save that then. And my last pet peeve is when people ask for free art. This is something that annoys me a lot. Sometimes I get, you know, like requests on Instagram from people for me to draw their characters, and I have to explain to them, you know, you can request I draw something, but there's no guarantee I'm gonna do it. The only way to guarantee is to commission me. And they said, like, I've had people say like, oh, could you just do like fan art of these characters? I'm like, no, I don't know what they're from. Are they your characters? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, that's not how it works. And a lot of the time I've had people just ask me to draw them for free, and I'm just like, I can't do that, you know. I don't want to draw a character I know nothing about and have no motivation to draw for free. That's one thing that's a little annoying. But yes, and if you would like to actually commission me, all my information for that is in the description and a pinned comment. So yeah, those are my art pet peeves. I hope you enjoyed watching. And also, I just want to say thank you for 100 subscribers. It's like, I know it seems like such a tiny number compared to these other YouTubers with millions and millions of subscribers, but, you know, as I'm just starting out, you know, 100 is a lot of people, and it means a lot to me that you guys want to stick around and see my art, and so yeah, thank you. So I hope you have all enjoyed, and if you like what you see, maybe you could stick around a little while and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to leave a like on this video and tell me if you have any ideas for any future videos that you would like to see me make. I hope you have all enjoyed, and until next time, bye!